They call it the PS5 Fat because it's a monster on the desk. But in 2026, I call it the tank. While newer models are getting slimmer and more expensive, this OG unit was over-engineered to stay cool and quiet. Today, I'm reviewing this 6-year-old PS5 Fat to see if it still holds up against the $700 or 50,000 pesos PS5 Pro competition. Spoiler alert, performance is great, but the budget savings, even better. Let's break down the hardware and see why this is still the most budget nerdy way to game. Welcome back, Budget Nerd Zach here. Let's get into it. Tara, simulan na natin. First, let's look at the physical side and hardware of this PS5 Fat. This thing is massive. Ang laki talaga niya compared to the newer models. But look at this disk drive. In 2026, where digital license can be revoked and prices on the PS Store just keeps rising, this disk drive is your best friend. Being a physical collector is a core part of being a budget nerd. I can go to a secondhand shop or browse Facebook Marketplace, grab a disc for a cheaper price, play it, and even sell it back or swap it for a new game. You can't do that with a Digital Pro without buying an external disk drive anyway. Plus, look at the build. These fat models were over-engineered from the start. The heatsink in there is huge, kaya hindi ako nag-aalala na mag-overheat yung unit natin, provided that we maintain it well. And even after years of use, mine still runs quiet. The USB-C and USB-A ports on the front are perfect for my peripherals. It's a tank, and honestly, it looks like a piece of tech history on my desk. Why replace something that's built this well? Now, before we get into the games, we have to talk about the PS5 DualSense controller. The Pro didn't revolutionize the DualSense, so the experience here is identical. The haptic feedback is still the best in the business. The adaptive triggers is really a game changer here. Talagang solid gamitin lalo na sa mga shooter games. When I'm playing in chill mode, on easy or normal, I want to feel the environment. The rain, the vibrations of the world, the PS5 Fat delivers that perfectly. The joystick and the buttons feels crisp, and the overall design is comfortable gamitin. Wala akong masabi, especially since it fits perfectly in my hands. And even the UI in 2026 is still snappy. Moving to your library or jumping into a resume activity is almost instant. If the Fat model already gets me into the game in seconds, why would I pay for a Pro just to shave off half a second? It's just not a budget nerdy move. In this economy, are you really paying an extra 25k just to save 2 seconds of your life? Hindi na, diba? We're here to relax and not to rush. Now let's talk about the games and what this PS5 Fat can do. Let's start with Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. I always use this game to set the mood for chill mode. Look at the way the snow falls in Harlem and how the lights reflect off the suits. Even in 2026, the PS5 Fat handles these particle effects like a champ. I'm playing on a performance RD mode here, and it gives you that 60 FPS smoothness while still keeping some ray tracing. For a budget nerd, this is the sweet spot. You don't need a Pro to enjoy this vibe. And watch this fast travel. Almost instant. This is why the SSD was such a game changer. Unless you're staring at a side-by-side zoom in, you won't feel the difference on a Pro. The best part, since this is an older title, you can find the physical Ultimate Edition for a steal. You get 2 massive games for the price of 1. Maximum chill, minimum spend. Next, we have the game everyone deletes but shouldn't, Astro's playroom. I'm showing this in 2026 because it's the ultimate stress test for the console's hardware synergy. Notice the sand physics and the particle effects, zero lag. And another knowledge tip for the beginners, if you just bought a secondhand PS5 Fat, this is your tutorial. It teaches you the core PS5 experience isn't about the resolution. It's about the tactile feel. You don't need a pro badge to feel the raindrops through the controller. This game proves the OG hardware hasn't aged a day. Now, switching gears to something faster, we have Devil May Cry 5. This is a stress test for any console. There's so much happening on screen. From the effects, the fast-paced animations. I'm playing on normal mode here, just focusing on the combos. And notice there's zero stutter. The PS5 Fat was built for this. The pro marketing says you'll get more detail in the background, but let's be real. When you're mid-combo trying to get that high rank, are you looking at the bricks in the distance? Hindi na, diba? You're focused on the action. The Fat model delivers exactly what you need where it counts. Plus, the special edition on this disc is a masterpiece for the collection. It looks great on the shelf and it plays even better on this console. Now for our final verdict, let's wrap up with the honest truth about the PS5 Fat's pros and cons. Let's go first with the pros. The value in 2026 is unbeatable, especially since you can get a really good deal in the used market. And also, the disk drive is a necessity for us collectors and for those who value physical media. And the cooling is actually superior to some newer designs, and this is due to the fact of the massive heatsink. The aesthetic looks clean and futuristic. Talagang eye-catcher tong PS5 natin. The build is really solid compared to the other models. Now let's go for the cons. Another thing that some people may not like is the size. Since it's built like a tank, it's a monster on the desk. But that's actually subjective because I really love the design and the weight it has to it. And that is why for some, the slim models actually fit better for them, especially if they need more room for a physical space. Another thing is the storage. 825GB is just too small. You'll eventually need to spend on an SSD upgrade, which is an extra cost for our budget. And on paper, although it says 825GB, only the 667 is usable, which is actually a bummer dahil syempre kung gusto mo mag-upgrade, may kamahalan na din talaga ang mga SSD today. But here's the bottom line. The PS5 Pro is a luxury, but the PS5 Fat is the standard. If you're a budget nerd who loves physical games and playing at your own pace, stick with the Fat. Your wallet will thank you. However, we also need to keep in mind that yes, the PS5 Pro really is a beast compared to the other models. We can't deny that. With its PSSR upscaling and advanced ray tracing, talagang solid. One thing that I would say here is that the PS5 Pro can be for you if you have the budget for it and have a massive OLED TV. If that's the case, the Pro can be your best friend in this, especially since it has that 2TB of SSD. But since I'm using a monitor for all of my peripherals and consoles, I believe the PS5 OG tank is already perfect for me, especially since we don't have the space for a massive OLED TV. So that's it. What do you think? Are you staying with the OG or did the Pro hype you? Team Tank or Team Pro? Let's talk in a comment. I'm Budget Nerd Zach. Keep it budget, keep it nerdy, and I'll see you in the next review. Subscribe for our next coming video about the PS5 budget game list.